wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is work.
What's going on, everybody? TGIF, we back at it again with another market pulse in the morning. I hope all of y'all are having a fantastic day. My name is HEX Crypto. We're diving into some analysis on the Bitcoin price action, Ethereum, Pulse Chain, HEX, PLSX, and the incentive token with some recent pullbacks. Do we have a surge? Do we have a correction? What's actually going on with everything happening? This is take number 2, so I appreciate all the people who came in. So much love for every single one of y'all. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. As always, guys, it is Friday, so I hope everyone can just have a nice, wonderful, relaxing day. And without further ado, let's kick it off with some Bitcoin information. Recently, Bitcoin has had a pullback. Now, a lot of people are wondering, is this the end of the market? Is this the top? Is this the euphoria phase? Is that it? Was that the rally? Was that the bull run of 2024? I hear these questions coming up all the time now, and I wonder if y'all are hearing the same thing too. What I find hilarious about it is now you're having coworkers start discussing crypto, and they're doing crypto on the phone, like I think we all once did at some point in time, unless you were brought in by a friend who already had the knowledge of how to properly be in crypto. But for the most part, when people are just figuring out things, you go on stuff like Robinhood, Cash App, you do these kind of things to buy these tokens. Coinbase even holds your money on centralized exchanges because you just don't know any better, but we do know better now. And guys, if you are in that situation where you're learning about crypto right here for the very first time, try to start diving into some details about how to properly secure your wealth, how to take control of self-custodial wallets through hardware wallets such as Treasure, Ledger, any of the other devices that are out there as well, and just start learning and teaching yourself as much as you possibly can about the entire thing. So I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, guys. Again, back to the Bitcoin price over here. We got Bitcoin sitting at 68,000 right now at this point in time. I do see this coming back. It has fallen below the 786 level. So just from this metric alone, from the Fibonacci, which, by the way, Fibonacci retracement tool is probably one of my favorite, if not the favorite tool to use when it comes to trying to figure out everything else. So taking away all the other metrics there, this one could be phenomenal to help you learn some items too. Again, this is currently showing Bitcoin with a current pullback at this point in time. Let me actually get rid of some of these little dots that I just made. Oh, that was cool. How did I do that? Controls. Whoa. Okay, cool. I just learned something new. I didn't even know I could do this, y'all. Did you know I could do this? I didn't know I could do this. Make a little magnifying glass. Anyways, I got completely distracted by that. Whoa. Like completely distracted. So anyways, at this point in time, Bitcoin has actually had a pullback of roughly around 11% in the last 2 days. Even today, it's already sitting on a negative 4.8. It actually hit a high at some point in time of 72,000. This is why you don't want to go long. You don't want to go short because these swings are fast in crypto, y'all. This is, again, within the daily. If you were to break this down even on the 4-hour, you can see this 1-hour chart alone was a drop of 7.8%. But that actually took it from 72,000 all the way to 66,697. So are you wanting to try to play around with that? I hope all of y'all are kind of not taking too crazy a risk at this point in time. Buying the asset and holding the asset for the long term is in fact the way to go. If you are taking on some leverage, just be extremely, extremely safe with it while you can. But what I can say is we actually have fallen below the 786 level. It does tend to come back down and test this 618 level, which, funnily enough, we have many levels of support around this region and this range. So we actually get plenty of support in these regions. And it's just something to be paying attention to. These were all resistances at this point in time when it first happened. And then it became support on these two as well, to make it the next little rally on the way up. So keeping all that in mind, something to be paying attention to is, could I see it coming back down to the 63K range? Absolutely, y'all. The 63, 64K range is 100% in the ballpark. That is very, very normal when it comes to a healthy market. things going up forever is fun. Obviously, you get to make new all-time highs constantly. You're always in profit. But the greed right now on the market, the greed overall in the market right now is absolutely hitting a top right now. So this is that peak euphoria stage when you start seeing extreme greed show up. So now we're seeing an 83 just today, 88 yesterday, and 84 last week. People are going to be taking profits when it's this level. You know the saying, right? Be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful, right? The famous saying that everyone has said forever upon ever. That is exactly the sentiment you should be having. When people get absolutely greedy, it's probably time to start scraping some profits off if you've been able to do well enough to have some profits. When it's time for the extreme fear situation and everyone is just running away, there's blood in the streets, there's everything happening, maybe you take some of those profits that you've made and start buying the dip with it, right? And so that's where people are getting that right now. So right here, the overall market, not just in Bitcoin alone, because this wasn't just a Bitcoin only thing. The S&P 500 constantly kept making new all-time highs. And again, I'm going to break this down on a weekly to make the chart look a little better. But the S&P 500 just kept on making all-time highs, all-time highs, all-time highs. This is very crazy for the S&P 500 to do. NASDAQ, all-time highs, all-time highs. These blue lines that you're seeing right here were the previous all-time high all the way back in 2021. And once again, they're making new all-time highs, new all-time highs. Now, you can say that Bitcoin is following pretty damn closely, right? Everyone has mentioned this in the past, and they've been kind of hinting at it, saying that Bitcoin follows the overall market. And if you actually were to pull up the market for the S&P 500, even on this particular chart, you'll notice they're probably pretty accurate, right, in saying that. So if I was to actually pull up the, not indicator, I want to add another chart, the SPX on this one, just so you can kind of see on the new price scale. Bitcoin's doing pretty much the same thing. Let me make sure these are both on log. Cool. All right, so this is Bitcoin doing the exact same thing as the overall market. This is the S&P 500 right here against Bitcoin. And yeah, it's following pretty damn close. So is it the halving that's doing it? Is it the normal market trend? Is it just following the market? All those things are all in place. But one thing I will say is everything was making a new all-time high at some point. There is going to be a pullback, y'all. That is just the way the cookie crumbles. And you got to kind of accept the fact that if you're playing this game, good, healthy market corrections are welcomed, right? In this situation, from the all-time high to here would only be a 14% correction. So it's not like that's absurdly crazy to even hear, because you got this pump alone, which was a 25% pump within a week, right? You got this pump doing the same thing, roughly around 16, 17% within a week. It's very good to have good market corrections. And at this point in time, the blue line that you see was the previous all-time high. So it has finally fallen below the previous all-time high. Now it's not like this hasn't happened already. Just a few days ago, it has tested this blue line several times, almost like a resistance level at first and then a support level for a second. It's now broken through, and typically when things like to break through supports, usually you look for the next level of support, which in this situation would be 63,327. So Bitcoin is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The market is doing exactly what it's supposed to do when things are on this greed level right here. Again, if you've been in the tokens for a little bit of time, it's not a bad idea to scrape some profits off. Now, if you're just now getting in the token because you got into the hype cycle, you FOMO'd in because the things were just pumping and maybe your token wasn't, all these different considerations, well, you're best just to hold it and wait at this point in time, because this is just a euphoria stage at this point. This isn't even like a top. This is a cycle. You can call it a cycle euphoria stage, but it's still not at the full level of the bull market top. And how can you tell a difference? Well, I sent this to the people on Telegram as well, because they had the same question for the Patreon members. They were saying, hey, how can you actually see the difference between it? What would I be looking for? My coworkers now talking about buying Bitcoin on their cell phones. I've tried helping them like share the information that's the best method and all that good stuff, but you just got to let people learn. If people want to come to you for advice, that's when you're welcome to share it. But whenever I felt like I was trying to help educate people and getting into crypto the right way and all that stuff for people who weren't ready to quite listen to it at this point, you're almost wasting your breath, and eventually they come back to you, whether it's they get wrecked by some sort of system through the centralized exchange going down, or losing their funds, trading it somewhere, or trying to take advantage of the MetaMask and, you know, connecting to a DApp and losing everything. They typically come to you at that point in time, and then they're like, hey, maybe you want to teach me some more. That's when I'll spend some time educating. But what I sent to people on the Telegram was, I said, before the top is when mainstream FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, really kicks in. Crypto's hot. Everyone's talking about it. They want a piece. It's pure hype, and it's greed driving things, right? That's exactly what you just saw on the chart just a moment ago. We are in extreme greed right now, folks. The cycle top is the absolute peak before a major bear market. So again, a major bear market sets in when you actually get maximum mania. This is people are quitting their jobs. People are, you know, selling their houses to do, you know, to go buy the top on crypto. People are taking out massive loans, like you see Michael Saylor just recently did again. You know, even when it was at 72,000, I think he was trying to raise $500 million to go buy some more Bitcoin. Like, those are freaking, those are euphoria tops, right? Those are not like the full cycle top. That's not the we're going into a bear market stage, right? That's when things become extremely unrealistic for price predictions. That's when, instead of Bitcoin reaching just 100,000, which many people were hyping for, because again, extreme greed, this is when it actually becomes $1 million per Bitcoin. That's when you start seeing those numbers start floating around. 2 million, 10 million. Bitcoin's going to be worth everything, right? That's when you start seeing everything. And by the way, when Bitcoin reaches its cycle top this cycle, which we aren't there yet, but when it reaches the full cycle top right before the tippity top of the bull market, even if Bitcoin's at 100,000, 200,000, heck, 300,000, people are going to be expecting that last 2 to 3x out of it. People are going to be saying it's at 300. Well, it just needs another 3x to be able to make it to $1 million, right? And that's what you're going to be hearing. You're going to be hearing that a lot. Those are typically like the extremely unrealistic predictions getting thrown out. So be mindful of that, right? The coworkers are a early warning sign, as always, just to keep that in mind. So if you're having family reach out, which, by the way, I was having friends reach out talking about wanting to get into the new meme coins and all that good stuff. Again, I'm not a meme coin kind of guy, so I let them know my 2 cents on it. But if they want to go dive into that, do you, boo boo? Like, it's your money. You can do it whatever you want at the end of the day with your money. I'm just not going to be a participant in helping you try to get set up so you can just go get it wrecked or something like that. I don't want any part of that. I'll let you figure all that out for yourself in that situation. But guys, we're probably not at that blow off mania phase just yet. I just don't see everything. Again, when you start seeing everyone, dude, I got so rich, I'm quitting my job, I'm doing this, you start seeing the watches, the cars. That's cycle top, right? That is when it's like, okay, guys, that's cycle top, right? Like, we can all, if you were here back in 2021, you should have an idea of what to be looking for when the cycle top comes around. If you were here back in 2017, you should probably get a pretty good idea of what we're looking for. But neither here nor there. Bitcoin is doing what it does. There's nothing against Bitcoin doing it right here the way it's doing it, because once again, this is very normal for Bitcoin to do. And please, for the love that is everything, all that can be, don't go start taking on leverage and all that good stuff. Like, all these people, in the last 24 hours, $707 million wrecked, whether it's liquidated through shorting or longing the asset. That is 24 hours, folks. 24 hours. Wild. Okay. Going back in the last 30 days, I think we're sitting in the ballpark of like $2.3 billion in liquidations. Please be careful about this, y'all, because everyone's saying that, again, Bitcoin's going up here, Bitcoin's going here, this is happening here, we're going here, and it's just going to continue to be a thing. It's continuing to be a thing, as a matter of fact. This is the exact area that you can start seeing people get a lot of hype around it, right? Everyone, this is the red line that we're at, the current price. Everyone over here was basically shorting Bitcoin, saying that we're not going past even 70,000. Well, heck, you'd be a fool to be shorting Bitcoin when it's already reached this level, right? Like, what are you doing shorting at $70,000? That's not a good play. Now, also on the flip side, everyone over here going long can also get liquidated super quick because the price in this changes so quickly that you can literally see this happen in the span of hours, y'all. Hours. So if you decided to fall asleep and take a break because you slept and went to sleep right here, let me just kind of give you a better idea. We flip it over to 4 hours. Cool. You fell asleep right here. 4, 8, 12. This is again, you fell asleep, you woke up. You're like, all right, cool. I didn't quite get liquidated. I'm all good. And then the price just goes and drops 10%. All of a sudden, you go from 72,300 to 65,500. So many people get liquidated in this play. Do not be messing around in this region. You will absolutely get decimated. Again, you can even break this up on the 30-day, if I'm not mistaken, and you can see all these people like, man, it's wild, 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 wild to even imagine that there's this much available. But guys, people are basically longing Bitcoin, saying that even if it reaches 58,000, which by the way, I'm not saying that's off the table. Everything's possible in crypto, right? I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but it's quick. It can happen within the span of a day, like this right here. Literally a day, it dropped 14% and it goes from 69,000 to 59,000. That's fast. That's extremely fast, y'all. So I just caution everyone, be mindful about the environment that you're in, be mindful about who you're listening to, and just pay attention. One thing I will say is the impulse MACD is finally actually curving down, okay, on the daily. This is typically going to be signs of a bearish trend coming up. Now, I'm not saying this is bearish forever for Bitcoin, so don't come at me, bro. But all I'm saying is be ready for it, that if this does tend to cross the blue to the orange, it is very common that we do end up going down or sideways in price for a period of time until it wants to rally up. One thing I can also say is, being that it's Friday, the ETFs that have been purchasing Bitcoin on the open market only do so Monday through Friday from what we've noticed. And then the retail investors will come in on Saturday and Sunday and either keep the hype going or sell off for whatever the ETFs have been able to buy. But when things are making new all-time highs and everybody's in profit, be ready for some sell-offs. That's just common in any sort of asset in general. And that doesn't just pertain to Bitcoin. That pertains to Ethereum, which also, funnily enough, is matching Bitcoin pretty freaking spot on at this point in time. If we were to pull up a chart, you can see it's basically following it identically at this point in time, right? So I wouldn't, like, if Bitcoin goes up, cool, Ethereum goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, cool, Ethereum goes down, right? And this is going to be a continuing thing, but don't focus so much on like the daily. Start cycling things out and say, okay, how have we done in the weekly? How have we done? And look at this. In the last several weeks alone, last 42 days, 35 days, somewhere in this range, you're up almost 2x your money just in Ethereum alone, right? And again, there's other two cryptos that do even better than this. But as long as the Bitcoin dominance remains above 50, it's going to be a Bitcoin show for now, right? The Bitcoin dominance is what we're going to be paying attention to, because when it gets into the 45 region, alt season's here, y'all. That's when it's like we're kicking it off. That's when things get spicy as all can be. And if you notice, back in May of 2021, all the way up, you got plenty of cycles of altcoins that have done very well, and Bitcoin dominance fell quite a bit because, again, the price of Bitcoin fell. People got out of it. People rotated their profits. They flipped it into the other things, which is things like Ethereum. And then you get into the layer ones, layer twos. Then you get into the meme coins. Then you get into all that as well. So keeping all that in mind, another thing I'm paying attention to is the total market cap. We haven't quite broken above the 3 trillion just yet, but I do see Bitcoin breaking above 3 trillion this cycle itself, which means the overall crypto market cap I could see hitting even into the high teens, if not even higher, into the amount of the overall crypto market cap. So I think we still have a lot of clear sky ahead. I think we still have a lot of room ahead. Let me say hello to some beautiful people, and then we'll dive in on HEX, Pulse Chain, PLSX, some crypto news, and have some fun there. We got AFAM in the house, LFG. Take two. We get double the alpha. Appreciate you. Academaciated. Shaking out the weak hand viewers. Lol. That's funny, Academaciated. LMAO. The last stream was EATX. This is PATX. So if y'all don't know, I'm trying out OBS, man. I'm really trying to make it work. And for whatever reason, it just has this little thing where it just says it stops receiving data. I don't seem to receive that issue when it comes to streaming through StreamYard. So we're going to be flipping out some stuff. We're going to be having some fun, testing out different items, always having fun, always trying to make it better for you, the viewer, for you, the subscriber, for you, the likers, for you, the Pulse Nation peeps, for every person who comes in on the replay gang. We're trying to continue to make this better and better and better. And so the Market Pulse in the morning was a fun little system that we got going. We do it Monday through Friday, and it's just an absolute blast. But yeah, that was a hilarious comment, fam. Smash the likes, 100%. Smash the likes. Shake out the weak viewers. Yeah, great comment. That was hilarious, man. HEX pump. Yeah, dude. There was a little pump on the HEX side of things recently. Have we formed a bottom? Are we still on the bottom? Does it have more room to go? I don't know, but I'll just share my 2 cents with you while we're actually talking in that a little bit later. Let me just say hello to some more beautiful people. Jason Smith in the house. Fox, how you doing? And we live. Yeah, it's ATX twin brother XTA. Lol. What's up, Finbear? Finbear joke today? Yeah, exactly. Add crypto. Yeah, exactly. I tried to think of one. Go ahead. I'll wait for that, Finbear. I'll definitely share it when you come on. What's up? You never walk alone. Archie, yes. Hello. Afternoon, all. Kindly smash that like button. Jason Smith says, appreciate that. Cookie de Chocolata. Hello. We got Finbear in the house as well. Cookies. Yep. Saying hello to everybody. What's up, my boy? Co-host to the Pulse Nation, Westcott Crypto. Go share, like all the videos and everything like that. He just did a stream yesterday with Disciple, Crypto Wonder. Great stuff, man. Shout out to you, Westcott. Much love. Cookie, hello, hello. And everyone saying hello. Atlantean, much love. I tried to tune my racing snail by removing its shell. It just made it more sluggish. Oh, shoot, Finbear. Too good. Too good. Cookie, yep, exactly. Everyone giving Finbear a little love on that one for sure. Anthony, what up? Thanks, ATX, for answering a couple of questions on Twitter. I know I keep asking more and more. Always. Yeah, I mean, for now, if I can and I have time, I'll answer some questions. You know what I mean? But if I don't get to the questions, it's all good too, right? It's all good. Chris Crypto AI Corner, what's going on, everybody? Disciple, yeah, he a trip for sure, always. Lord of the Ponzi, salute to you, my friend. So Flow, facts on facts. And we got Crypto Wonder in the house. Smash the likes, share the stream. Definitely get this information out to as many people as you can. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, because again, this is where the mindset really comes into play. We have actually seen a pretty decent pump in the ecosystem of the HEX price, not only on the Ethereum HEX, but also on the Pulse Chain HEX side of things as well. So without further ado, let's take a little gander at where the prices are currently sitting right now. We have the price of Pulse Chain sitting at 3015, the price of Pulse X sitting at 40704. We have the price of the incentive token at $7.74. The HEX on Pulse Chain, 1.8 cents. HEX on Ethereum sitting at 0.0029. The ratio is now 1 to 6 on the ratio. So that is something that I will be keeping up as well in this regard. We'll be trying to keep track of the overall ratio. So that way, if anyone is ever curious at any point in time, this is the ratio that I'm referring to. You can find this information on gopulse.com for yourself. But I'm just looking at the overall ratio. We do look at that on the chart as well when we actually look at some of these. But this is the actual HEX. This is the recent shakeout of everyone doing everything from the recent tweet from Richard Hart down 85%. So if you were trading or doing anything during that time period, you may have just got yourself wrecked at that point. Does it look like we're starting to form a bottom at this point? To me, it does look like a bottom is trying to be formed. Will it actually be formed here? We still have yet to wait and see. But if you were to be looking at doing any sort of DCA or anything into it, this would probably be around the level I would be looking for, not only because this is all the previous all-time low was right here. So, or the previous, not all-time low, but the previous local low, which is essentially where the price was before it broke through all these different barriers very quickly and all the prices, is now bouncing a little bit above that. And we are actually using this almost like a level of support. So if you're looking to get in, I still would never YOLO in. YOLO is not the play, my friends, my fam, my fellow crypto peeps. YOLO is a way that if you end up doing it, you got to accept the outcome either way. If this thing drops another 20, 30, 40, 50% out of nowhere because you got some big sellers, just be ready for that, because that is still on the ballpark. That is still on the table. You still see people constantly trying to sell. One thing that I say as a reason why I believe it could be a local bottom, at least for now, is I look at the candle wicks too, right? So if I look at the wick right here, I can see a pretty crazy wick over here, pretty crazy wick over here, and pretty crazy wick over here. These are all signs of bullish behaviors. We did get to see it here, but again, you still got to see pretty large wicks on the downside up here, pretty large wicks on the downside up here. So being that I am kind of paying attention to where these wicks are sitting, that is something I will keep my eye on. But being that the wicks are actually pushing up, it could be a sign that the local bottom is in. Now, again, as I say that, you're going to have some people who just come through and just sell the price down. So again, would I YOLO? No. The way you do it is you do a ladder strategy. You can go in with, if you have 1/3 of your bag here. Wow, what great drawing on that one. Let me try that once again, because that did not work. If you have 1/3 of your bag, why aren't you drawing just a regular line? I just want a regular line. There you go. 1/3 of your bag here. And again, this is not bag. This is a portfolio of investment that you have. So say you have $1,000 total that you're wanting to put in. And again, this is what great drawing, guys. Just, forgive the drawing here. But you would put in 333 right here. That would just be like the first little entry level. Then when the price decides, if it does, to go a little bit lower, you could probably go back in again right here with the other third. Again, $333. Man, drawing is not working on this one right here for whatever reason. So I'm just going to kind of let that one do what it does. But I think y'all kind of get the idea. You put in a third here, you put in a third here, and then you put in a third here, and then you just let it ride. Now, if it does the opposite, where it actually wants to start pumping up again, you at least got in, you put your foot in the door, you got something, and then you have levels of where you would actually be buying on the way up as well. So you can capture all of this. Now, if it does end up going up to this level, this was a pretty decent level of support right here, which is typically going to be a decent level of resistance on the upside right there. So if it does want to start pumping up again, levels I would be paying attention to are 2037. Probably wouldn't be YOLOing in at that price. Again, anything can happen at any point in time, but probably wouldn't do anything crazy right there. Just be mindful that you're probably going to see some sell-offs before it actually decides to fully break through. So have capital ready at any point in time. Have a 3-step strategy at minimum, y'all, because you still see people come through over here on this side where you just got people who want to do nothing but sell the price. And again, looking at all the orders in this little metric right here, I'm seeing a lot of sells and not a lot of buys. And if we were to actually pull up the overall chart on the side, you can see currently there's roughly around 2,800 buyers, 3,200 sellers, right? But in the last 24 hours, it has gone up 11.7%. Last 6 hours, 13%. So just be mindful. It is green at the moment. There are still some sellers. There are people who haven't even seen the most recent RH tweet, or not the most recent, but the RH tweet that kind of got everyone freaking out. So just keep that in mind. That's HEX on Pulse Chain, or that's HEX on Ethereum. HEX on Pulse Chain is currently doing kind of a similar situation where you're getting plenty of sellers come through on the side. Currently, in the last 24 hours, it's up 24.63%. We do have roughly close to the same number of buyers and sellers, 4170 for buyers, 4,300 for sellers. There is a bigger buyer volume in this one. So typically when that happens, you get some little green action. Or again, I guess I should say buys and sells are down there. The buyers and sellers are right here. So we do have more buyers and sellers on the Pulse Chain HEX price. Let me make sure I actually said that correctly for EHEX just to double check, since I already have that up as well. Buyers and sellers are basically flat right now. So we got basically a wash in that one. We got to decide which way the market wants to go. Volume is pretty much flat, which is, again, going to just kind of keep the price nice and flat as well. So people are coming in. They're wanting to scoop up some of this price because, folks, there's no guarantee of what's going to happen in the future. But whenever I start seeing the daily payout per HEX per T-share on the Ethereum HEX side, I would if you don't have something long on the Ethereum HEX, send something out long, like just a random shot in the dark, right? If you got 100,000 HEX available, send it out 15 years. If you have some more, cool. But this is kind of what I'm talking about. The payout per T-share is going up to 14.61 today on the Ethereum HEX side. Payout per T-share is 7 HEX per T-share on the Pulse Chain HEX side. The overall cost it costs to get a T-share is staying relatively similar. So the amount of T-shares that you can get is almost a 6-to-1 difference, right? Of the amount of T-shares that you can get on the Ethereum HEX side. Be mindful, Ethereum gas fees absolutely suck. It's sitting at 41 Gwei right now, which that's actually pretty damn good, unfortunately, like in recent times. And I don't want to be the person saying that because 40 Gwei is trash. 40 Gwei is not good. I just haven't seen it below 40 in damn near over a month now, right? If you actually look at any of these datas and charts and all that information, I don't really see it below 40 on any of them. In some cases, it's at 119, 102, 124. That's pretty sucky, guys. Like, so, hey, I saw it below 40. Y'all saw it here first as well. Y'all got to witness it live on the Market Pulse update, or Market Pulse in the morning update. Y'all got to see it below 40. Holy effing cow. Again, would I transact? Heck no. It costs $76 to swap on the Ethereum network. It still costs plenty of money to do plenty of stuff. I still would not transact at this time, but if I'm starting to see Gwei go down, we might eventually get back into the 20s again, and fingers crossed you can complete any of the transactions that you want to complete at that point in time. It's down to 32. Oh my gosh. Come on, guys. Let's keep it going. Now, don't get too crazy on the stream because, you know, with all the viewers that we got, you know, this is just going to send it all the way right back up again. So just keep that in mind. But I do share that information because it is important for everyone to know that, again, the payout per T-share on the Ethereum side of HEX recently just saw 60 HEX per T-share a couple days ago. I scooped that up and I was like, dude, gobble, gobble on that one. That was incredible. We got the price of HEX on Pulse Chain sitting at 1.8 cents. It did get a little pump in the last recent days. Again, over the last 4 hours, it does still look like it wants to continue to pump. There was a sell-off that actually ended up happening. Kind of came through into a previous local support range that we saw plenty of volume around, and then it just bounced right off it once again. Now, again, this is on the 4 hour, so I'm not really trying to trade, but on the 4 hour, it does look like it is a little bit of the bullish side. RSI is going a little bit high. It is crossing down. Typically, when the RSI does cross down, you get a pullback as well. So keep that in mind. Again, this is on the 4 hour, but when this crosses, typically what you'll actually end up having, whoops, let me actually get that here. What you'll actually end up having is something like this, where you see it kind of cross down, and then you get a little bearish right here for a little bit of time. It crossed down right here on this particular day, and then it got bearish right here. So when it is a little bit high and it does actually want to cross down, just keep that in mind. That is a possibility. Everything is a possibility. Crypto has no guarantees at all. But on the daily, again, it's a little bit different story, right? This is actually bullish. Now, it's not quite bullish in this regard. The RSI still hasn't fully flipped bullish. We need that blue line to actually flip above the red line or orange line at this point for it to be fully bullish. Give me 1 second. The wife's going to be coming through. One moment. With everyone, since it's Friday, let's hit everybody with a little, it's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday.
It's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday again, 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 it's Saturday, Sunday. You don't got your boyfriend and meet me at the hotel room. You can bring your girlfriends and meet me at the hotel room. You don't got your boyfriend and meet me at the hotel room. You can bring your girlfriends and meet me at the hotel room. What? It's Friday then. What? It's Friday then. You guys with it? Saturday, Sunday, what?
Meet me at the hotel room. What?
It's Friday then.
Intense!
It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. All right, guys. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It is TGIF. As always, we're diving into the Pulse Chain price now at this point in time. We're checking that out. So let's see what's going on with Pulse Chain. As a matter of fact, we have actually fallen through one of the levels of support that we were actually wanting to maintain. Whoa. The heck? Hold up. Puppies. What just happened? Coco. What just happened? All right. So we actually fell through one of the support levels we were wanting to hold at this point in time. We did not hold, but we are still making, once again, higher highs and higher lows. And y'all already know that's what really matters at this point in time, right? So it's essentially what you're looking at is the previous level of support that we were wanting to maintain was really the 3016 range, this range, this price. We actually broke through that and we actually pushed the price up and above it. Once again, we have fallen through it to actually make a lower low in this situation, but still, this is on the daily. So on the overall chart, we are still making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and it's a beautiful little step strategy that we got going on. So what I was saying is I definitely anticipated a pullback. I drew this out. Usually it doesn't want to drop back down this low, but hey, if it wants to drop back down this low, let's draw another little chart and see if that can in fact be the new low. What could in fact end up happening now is we come back and test this little bullish wedge situation. So prices could end up going to 3014 in that range. Keep that in mind if you're wanting to do any sort of DCA, but the difference here to here, y'all, is really not enough to be able to make or break your bag. Again, that's a 5% difference, so I don't think that's a make or break situation. Keep that in mind, especially when you have massive bullish trends ahead. So we are still making higher highs and higher lows once again, and that is what really matters at the end of the day. The RSI on the daily is still on the downtrend, so this typically means we are going to be going a little bit lower. Occasionally you can actually end up flipping out of it, but most of the time when it goes from the overbought situation, my bad, oversold, yeah, I said it right, overbought situation up here to the oversold situation down here, usually there's a period of time where it ends up doing something, trying to make a decision. But for the most part, you can see each time it actually has gone above, we tend to go all the way back down to a low unless there's some intervening of some massive whale who wants to come in and just do what they do, which is, again, do a market maker thing, and they can absolutely smash any sort of price that we put out or any sort of prediction that we say. We saw it actually happen around this time where it tends to go back down, and then we got a nice bullish pump, which actually almost pumped it up, if I'm not mistaken. Damn near almost 2x. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right. So in this situation, that is kind of seeing a nice little 50% pump in the span of 1 day right there. Also, that can happen super quick. And it really comes out of nowhere where a whale just steps in and says, kaboom, and just smashes the price on up, which is absolutely beautiful to see. And then we get typically the ABC correction happening, which right now we're through the ABC correction. We're in the midst of it right now. Does it want to come back down and fully retest this range? We have yet to see. People are selling some of their pulls for EX and all that good stuff. I don't advise any recommendation on that. Right? In this situation, they're all going to do really well. So if you're trading one of the RH tokens for another RH token, you're kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. But if you have some dry powder available and you want to put some capital into something that gives you a little bit better deal, maybe stake it a little bit better deal to earn some, 6 times the actual T-shares that you can get, that's pretty darn good. I think I looked at it just a second ago on the Ethereum HEX side of things, being that the price is sitting at 0.0033. Basically, you put in $3,000. You put in $1,000 right now. Put in $3,000 right now, get you a million HEX over there. And then again, the price of Pulse is still looking to go on a slight downtrend. However, with the whale stepping in, they can absolutely smash through any of the expectations that you see. So does the RSI continue to go down into an oversold situation? That's what we have yet to determine. When it does in fact go down during that time period, you can typically expect it to remain there for, I don't know, usually about 5, 6 days, 7 days, somewhere in that range. So if you have some dry powder, if you're getting paid, if you just got paid, congrats. Now you can actually deploy. I made a video showing how to go from a centralized exchange to Arbitrum to Pulse Chain. Very efficient, very effective manner. Saves you a whole bunch of fees, so that way you don't have to pay the ETH fees that you're seeing right now, because ETH fees absolutely suck. And that's just keeping it as real as I possibly can, right? I went to go try to end a stake the other day. I think it was somewhere in the ballpark of like $400. Now, granted, Gwei was at like 56, but neither here nor there. Even if you reduce it in half or whatever, it just ended up being one of those things that it just costs some silly money and you're just paying it straight to the ETH validators instead of using that economic capital to buy you more tokens. Because at the end of the day, when this bull market ends, when the bull market's here, when the bull market top is in, all that matters is how many tokens you're able to get. That's it. That is it. At the end of the day, that is all that matters. How many tokens you have now doesn't matter, because you can get more, you can sell, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. All that matters is how many tokens you have when the bull market is at the top. That's it. Keep that in mind. Okay. So if you can accumulate more tokens, congrats. Now's the time to definitely get that done, because you can definitely do that right now. So even for Ethereum, it still costs $50 to swap, even with Gwei sitting at 39. That sucks, man. That's absolute trash. I think we can all agree that sucks. Now, what's going on with the PulseX price? Let's take a little gander at PulseX real quick. PulseX follows Pulse Chain pretty darn similarly too. So, whoops. Let me flip this up over here, and I think I did this on weekly. Let me flip it to daily. There you go. All right, so on the daily side of things, we have actually started to break through one of the previous local tops, which is sitting at 406733 or 6773. We actually are testing that a couple of times to see if we can use it as support. Does it want to fully go through and bounce off? Once again, checking the RSI. RSI's just now flipped on the bearish side of things, so does it want to continue going bearish? That's what we have to wait and see. And does it want to continue going, or does a whale intervene and step in? Because again, usually this is lasting for a period of like 4 days or so, right, during that time period, before it starts kind of flipping bullish. At least that's what's happened in the past. Looking here as well, this actually went bearish all the way up until this point right here, which was roughly around 11 days. So it is still making higher highs, higher lows, folks. So keep that in mind. At the end of the day, I know prices are doing a pullback. Pullbacks are 100% on point with how it works in crypto in general, or just good, healthy market structures. Like when I'm seeing Bitcoin over here doing its 68,000 and all this good stuff, good, healthy structure would be actually pulling this back down and bringing it into a reasonable range, because it actually bounced above its 786 level for a period of time. And it actually kind of held that level as support for about 3 weeks, and then it just took off. So if it came back down to the 786, I wouldn't be too surprised. From the previous all-time high to the previous market bottom low, that's kind of what you're seeing. A good 786 would put the price of Bitcoin at 50,000 should I say, but I don't know if I see that happening, man. The ETFs are coming through strong. All the Impulse MACD on this one, very bullish behavior. All the Impulse MACD on the Ethereum price, because it copies Bitcoin, very bullish behaviors. The overall total market cap in crypto, very bullish behaviors, right? The Impulse MACD is just showing all of these, even for the others, which excludes the top 10 tokens, very bullish behaviors. So we are still in a ultra greed, extreme greed zone. I think this is very important to keep in mind, kind of where everyone feels, how everyone feels, because at some point in time when prices are making new all-time highs, and this is going to happen, same thing for Pulse Chain. You saw it happen when the price actually hit stack price for PulseX, right? Everyone was like, oh gosh, euphoria, extreme greed started to show up, and then you got a correction. That is very, very, very common market structure right there. Again, a 40% correction in that regard. Nothing too crazy, nothing out of the ballpark, nothing out of the blue, almost to be expected. It does happen because the highest, the best way to do it, in order to make the most amount of money you have, it's going to be a very volatile process as well, right? There's a reason why crypto is the highest appreciating asset. It comes with extreme volatility, y'all. And again, y'all know this if you've been sitting through all of PulseX, all of Pulse Chain, heck, even all of HEX during its little run, during its time that it's done what it's done. These are all moments in time that you pay attention to, right? People are paying attention to all of that. But at this point, we are just kind of going back to a little sideways pattern, but we are still making higher highs, higher lows. So I have this line going all the way down, which this is a nice little bullish line or trend line, should I say, at this point in time. And even if it fell below it, that would almost be within reason. I did actually end up falling below the 200 EMA. That was kind of the first indicator. It fell below the 50. It fell below the it fell below the 50, fell below the 9, fell below the 15, and then it fell below the 200. And that's where things kind of like, oh shit, which way is it going to go? So all of that kind of matters at this point in time. It is definitely something to be paying attention to. The incentive token is having a nice little correction period too. I've said this already, but I could definitely see the ink token having a nice little pullback. I did expect a pullback further than what it's doing here. So I was expecting a pullback even down into the range of this zone here, back into the $5 region. So if it wants to go that low, I wouldn't be too surprised. I pulled this up for the impulse wave correction for the Elliott wave, because we actually got a nice little wave forming, but it's done a freaking 20x in the span of like I'll just pull it up real fast. Let's pull it the exact. It's done a 20x in the time period, a 26x in the time period of 2 months. Like, there's gonna be some correction, y'all. There's gonna be some correction. Now, normally when you actually get a correction like that, you'll actually end up getting all these tests as well. Well, actually, it comes all the way back down and starts retesting out the 786, which, by the way, puts it at $5.50. That's kind of the range that I can see the ink token kind of going. If it wants to go a little bit lower, that would be very healthy, good structure. If it wants to come and even test the 618 level, very healthy structure to go back and retest this level. It would invalidate the impulse wave for the Elliott wave, because the 4 would then be below the 1. It shouldn't be doing that if it is a full impulse wave. So we'll see which way it wants to go. But at the 550, we are still forming a beautiful Elliott wave, which it can come on down right here. I'll actually just leave this right here. Let me just draw a little chart. Boom. Elliott wave formed. We're going to see, and we're going to take a little gander at that as well to see what actually ends up happening. But again, folks, a whale can step in at any point in time and absolutely just smash the price and just go kaboosh. I disagree with where you think the price is. I disagree with all this, and smash and just like absolutely crush it. So let me just kind of go back in here. We got Disciple in the house. What up, ATX? We about to win big. 100% Disciple. Blue collar grunt. Hoorah. What do you say there? It says 100% stake. I love that PFP. There you go. Jason Smith giving salute to Disciple. Benny Davis, salute to you as well, my friend. What else we got? Atlantean, hello, my love. Yep. Jason Smith, sick tune. RTS says, thank God it's Friday. Yep. TGIF, boys and girls, because it's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday. Oh, dude, that song gets me going, man. And again, that's a little hard step for everyone who wants to kind of end up getting that kind of music going. But yeah, beautiful song there. Tin Top, what's up, my friend? Crypto Gains Club, hello. Yeah, definitely come in, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. If you ain't following me on Twitter, X, and all that good stuff, go on over to Twitter, ATX Crypto _ just to make sure you follow me on the right Twitter handle. It is ATX Crypto and then _ underneath. And yeah, that's for everyone to know. KD in the house. Hello, all. TGIF, LFG, 100%. And dude, yeah, this is going to be an incredible time. We are getting ready for a massive, massive bullish breakout at this point in time. Bro, you got radio quality voice. Cheers. Appreciate that, David. So that's going to be one of those things that when you end up seeing some of these prices, folks, don't get shook out by the weak hands. Another thing that you're going to have happen all the time, especially the cycle, is you're going to have people make money in tokens that you didn't invest in, or maybe you heard about and you didn't put any money in. It's all good. Like, that's whenever FOMO starts kicking in. That's whenever things start happening. That's when you start having the regret of, did I make the right decision, and all those good stuff. And then you start letting that little seed of doubt get planted, and that can turn in, and it just keeps getting watered by the other people that may be listening to, and it just keeps getting watered by more and more people around you, and then it just keeps getting watered. I mean, only time will tell. And at the end of the day, that's just what you have to wait on. It's not like you can say, dude, I saw into the future and the price is this. No one can see into the future, so you can't say that at that point in time. But if you do have long-term vision, not this cycle, not next cycle, but heck, even in the next 12 years. Now, I'm not saying it's going to take 12 years. Don't get me wrong. Don't hate me. But I'm saying if you were to be 12 years later, you're going to be so thankful that if you did nothing during the time period but buy right now, You're going to be so happy, folks. These prices come next bear market will never be seen again. So when the bull fully takes off and everything starts going and everything's rallying, you're never going to see Bitcoin come back down to 15,000 again. You're never going to see Ethereum go back down to $800 again. You're never going to see Pulse be at the price that it's at right now, which is 3017. You're never going to see PulseX go back down to the levels that it's at right now, 4 zeros and a 7. You just won't see it, folks, because even during a bull market, you can get a massive rally. And yes, the Hexicans noticed the 99% drop. Pulse Chain launching took a massive hit on the ecosystem. People got everything twisted and confused. People became traders all of a sudden. People became degens all of a sudden. People who got extremely wealthy in HEX in the first place didn't have it staked, and so they sold all their positions. All these different things got opened up to Pandora's box when Pulse Chain launched. Pulse Chain box, we'll call it, okay? The Pulse Chain box, and I'm sure someone's going to come out with some little token now called Pulse Chain box, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's new tokens getting launched every freaking 2 seconds. Don't have the fear that you missed out because you did something and made a choice being in the ecosystem that you're in. Because the bull market hasn't hit. Now, at the end of this bull market, 12, 18 months from now, whatever we're looking at, and you look back and you're like, my token only did a 3x. Okay. FOMO, right? That's like, or FUD or whatever. That's regret. That's like one of those things that you're like, that didn't work out the way I thought it would, but let it play out. Like, wait, like, see it to the end, right? There's a reason why, if you are staked, it's called the truth engine. If you're staked in HEX and you do not if you do not see that stake out to its full fruition, if you don't wait until the end of it, the stake length, if you staked it out for 10 years, you've been in 4 years now, or 4.5 years now. At this point in time, you say, dude, fuck it, I'm going to end it early. Okay. But like, if you had just waited until the end, you could be seeing massive returns, but you're penalized by doing it early. You don't have the same penalties in Pulse Chain, PulseX, or heck, you don't even have the same penalties in any other crypto for that matter in that regard, right? You can literally go stake most cryptos and pull the stake the very same day and earn whatever yield that you earned during that time period. You can go yield farm right now and pull it whenever you want. You can go trade whenever you want. You're holding a ton of liquid tokens. That gets so much harder when you see your portfolio also start increasing. The same can be said as it gets so much harder when you see the portfolio decreasing. Now, I've stated this earlier, all that matters is how many tokens you have. That's it. At the end of the day, how many tokens do you have? That's it. Again, I'll say it again. All that matters is how many tokens you have. So by the time this bull market ends, by the time 2024, 2025, 2026, whatever the top is, by the time that ends, how many tokens are you holding at that time? That's it. That's it, folks. Simple as that. You'll know the bull market is reaching the top when people have quit their jobs, when people have shown the watches, have shown the cars, have bought the houses, have done all these things that take plenty of capital in order to do. That's the top. Right now, we're getting a euphoria top right now because everything was reaching all-time highs. The stock market of S&P 500 was reaching all-time highs. The NASDAQ, the Dow, everything was reaching new all-time highs. Massive euphoria all around. Massive greed all around. And what is the saying? Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. It's as simple as that. Right now, it's extreme greed. Okay. Be a little fearful. Well, how do you be fearful and be smart? You take some capital off the table. I'm not saying go sell your whole bag. I'm not saying do that because that's not how you do this either. People who sell their entire bag thinking they're going to buy in lower get absolutely left behind. We've seen the guy with the video once upon a time who had 16 million hex. I love that video, but it hits home because he goes, I had 16 million hex and I sold it all. I know it's for like $8,000 or something, right? And then he couldn't buy back in because the price went up, and he couldn't buy back in because the price went up, and he couldn't buy back in because the price went up. And eventually he got back in, but if he just held that $8,000 that he took profit on would have been $80,000. And that's not even talking about when the actual top came. That was below a penny, y'all. Like, he was at $80,000 even below a penny, but he bought back in. He lost 90% of his bag, 94% of his portfolio, and only ended up being able to get 500,000. So at one point in time, he had 16 million. What are you doing right now with your Pulse, your PulseX, with your incentive token? if you had a 500 million pulse right now and you sold it all because you think the price is going to go lower and you're going to buy and double your bag as soon as it drops 25, 35%, and then it just gets left behind, and then you try to go buy in again, and now you only have 250 million, and you think, okay, cool, now I'm going to try to go make it up again, and you sell your whole bag. You don't learn your lesson. Like, and you just keep doing that. Now, by the time the top comes, you're only sitting on what, 10 million pulse? That would suck. But so many people are going through that right now because they either get shook out by the weekends, they got shook out by the FUD. They're very emotional, and when you're emotional, you make rash decisions, whether it's the right decision or not. I'm sure we've all said things that you look back at in hindsight and say, yeah, that wasn't the right way to say it, right? But you say things when you're emotional, and it can come off as abrasive, it can hurt others, and all those things can happen very quickly and very easily. So be very mindful of how you're doing it. Crypto Quiz, what's up, my friend? Yo, I'm on break. How much sauce did I miss? Dude, it's all good, man. It's all good. We're just having some fun. It's about keeping the mindset the right way. It's about showing you that we are in an extreme greed situation. We do have some pullbacks happening in the ecosystem. Pullbacks are very common in crypto. On average, you actually end up getting roughly about 4 to 5 pullbacks in the caliber of anywhere between 25 to 55%, even 60% during a bull market. Okay, that is very common to happen, right? Here, let me actually just kind of show once again. Why not, right? Since we're here showing, why not talk about it? Talk about it. Whoop, wrong button. And do. All right, so here we go. So this is, I'll just pull this up for Ethereum. We'll just keep it simple for now. So this is Ethereum, right? And whoop, right here. Ethereum's right here. This is basically saying that when Ethereum launched, this is basically where you are, by the way, right? Hello, this is where you are. You are here right now, okay? Just in case anyone's, whoops, I need to share this screen instead. You are here right now, okay? This is where the price is. This is where we are. This is where the market is. We're entering into a bull market, okay? This is where everything's kind of going. And look exactly what this form looks like. It looks damn near identical when I pull up the PLSX chart and I just put it on weekly. It looks damn near identical, as a matter of fact, which is freaking awesome to say at the least. But I'll even show you here. This is what the price looks like. Okay, this is PLSX. I could do the same for Pulse Chain because why? They follow a very similar system. So if I put it on weekly and I pull it up right here, and you can see, whoops, looking at the actual chart, getting rid of some of the drawings and stuff on it, what does it look like? It looks the exact same as what you actually look at right here. Okay, weekly. They were all weekly. Okay, so this is what it looks like to me. What does it look like to you? It looks like this to me. So y'all are here. We are here. This is where we are. During a bull market, there is gonna be a pump. How much the pump is, who knows? But there can go up 10x, 5x, 20x in the span of 60 days. This happens. This is an 11x within the span of 60 days. And again, this is where I'm saying we're here right now. We're on the upper side of the U formation right now. So we're here. This is a 11x in the span of 56 days. It's fast. It's super fast, y'all. But what happens after that? You get a pullback. This is a 52% pullback, okay? 52% pullback, and that lasted for 42 days. So everyone's like, well, that's it. That was a fun run. And then it just takes off again. And then it goes another freaking, 2-3x from here in the span of another 45 days. And then guess what? You get a pullback and it goes down 60%. And you're like, oh, shit, man. I should have sold. I should have done these things. I should have done this. I should have had this. All these different plans. And then from the bottom here, it goes up another close to 2x before it does another pullback. Guys, this is all within one cycle. You have to understand. This is the cycle that we're in right now. But it goes down another 45%, right? 50%. This is all happening right now for everyone's eyes. 57%. And then it just skyrockets up. This is when you know the bull market really hits. Because the bull market comes and it's just like blast past the wildest expectations that you can fathom. So this is a 57x, 58x in the span of 6 months. It just whoosh and it just flies, y'all. Like, look how fast that 6 months 50x, we're here. Mind you, we're here. It gets up to here, and then what? It does another pullback of 67%. Everyone and their mother is going to be shouting from the rooftops, it's the end of the bull. That's it. There's no more. Sell everything. You sell it all. You sell it all. This is a massive move. Again, if you held during that time period, you're up 121x. So you've done well. So they sell everything. They'll sell everything. It's the craziest thing that you hear. But people sell their entire portfolio, and then it goes and does another 8x from there. So if you had it to where you're like, dude, I did well. I did 100x. Congratulations. I've made it. I'm a rock star. All those things, right? You feel that. You feel that right here. This is where everyone's at right now. This is where everyone's at right now. We're here. But doing 100x, you feel like a god. You feel incredible, right? You did 100x, and this took what? Let me just pull up the exact time. That took 539 days. So you've waited. You've been patient. You've watched it go up. You've watched it go down. You may have taken profits along the way. You may not have taken profits along the way. Whatever the case may be. But you got 100x. So you sell it all. And even if you cash out, this is what I think Wes was talking about in the stream the other day, where even if you cash out and you say you put in, we'll just put in $5,000, okay? So you did 5,000 times 100. You're sitting on $500,000, right? Congratulations. Dude, it's incredible. That is incredible. But what happens next? Because you sold out your entire position, it goes and does another 8 to 9 to 10x. That 500,000 could be 5 million. But you sold your entire position because you thought you were the genius. You thought you knew what was best. You thought the market was done. You said, I know how this game goes. I am not going to be caught with my pants down. And you did good. 5,000 to 500,000? Bro, congrats. You don't get that anywhere in 550 days. You don't get that anywhere else. But you sold your entire position. And you're a fool for selling your entire position. Because that 500,000 could have easily gone and been 5 million. Even if you had just held it over just for a little bit longer. Like you sold here because you saw the pullback. You beat, again, imagine this. It goes up. Let me just pull up some actual numbers here. Once again, it goes up. Boom. Right here, 315x. Okay, 316x. So this is what happens. You took $5,000 that you put in. It goes up 315x. You now have $1.5 million. But you didn't sell. You didn't sell. And so what happens? This happens. You lose 67% of the portfolio. So you go from $1.5 million to losing 67% of the portfolio to now only having $500,000. That's still incredible. You turn 5,000 into 500,000. Life-changing for some people. Not retirement, but life-changing. So you sell. You say, dude, I just lost $1 million. I'm scared. I don't want to lose anymore. And you sell the entire freaking position because, one, you didn't have a plan in place of what you were going to do along the way to the 300x. So congrats, you managed to sell 100x. But then it goes off and does another freaking 10x. So even with that 1.5 million down to 500,000, it could have been 5 million up here. I'm not saying you're going to time the exact top, and I don't anticipate anybody to try to go do the exact top. Trying to time the market is a fool's errand. It is not worth it. You will get absolutely wrecked. But have the 5 P's in place, the proper preparation to prevent poor performance, man. You should have taken profits multiple times along the way. So that way, when it ends up reaching this level right here, you've already pulled out 200, 300, 400,000. And then you're still sitting on a portfolio of $1, $2, $3 million, whatever it is. And then you see it pull back and you're like, I don't care because I've already pulled out enough profit. And then it goes up again, another 10x. And you say, I'll gladly take it. Hey, give me some more. I'm going to scoop a little bit more. Boom, boom, boom. But selling your entire position is a fool's game. Because what happens? You end up doing this, and then you buy back so often. People do this. They sell their entire position here. They try to buy back in right here, and then from there, you only get like a 66% dip, and then it drops. Bear market. Welcome to the bear market. Okay, that sucks, y'all. This is brutal. 90% drop, and you bought back in, and you thought you were doing everything correct. You were like, dude, I sold my position, I crushed it, 500,000. I'm freaking solid, bro. I'm a G. I'm a genius. I'm incredible. I'm a brilliant trader. All like your mind gets filled with all the thoughts, y'all. And then all of a sudden, this goes and you actually start breaking above these prices, and you're like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And you buy back in. That's the worst. Is you take that 500K and you say, fuck it. I'm going to get in. The bull market's not done. And then it only goes up another 85%. I see the story happen every single time. And what happens next to follow? Man, we go through a bear market. So it drops 75%. And you say, dude, I'm still in. I'm still in. And you see it go up again. You're like, oh my gosh, I knew it. I knew we weren't over. I knew we weren't over. I'm in. I'm holding until we make another top, and then I'm going to sell. And then it drops. Like another 90%. I see this story happen all the time. You went from 500,000 all the way back down to 5,000. Okay. And it happens, y'all. It really does. It's a crazy thing. Or I guess 50,000, I could say. You went from 5,000 to 500,000 to 3 million. You watch a dip, you bought back in, whatever happens, you see it go from for 500,000. And if you hold it all the way through, which kind of people do, right? Because they're like, dude, if I didn't sell here, why would I sell here? If I didn't sell here, why would I sell here? If I didn't sell here, why would I sell here? 90% dip. Now you got to wait. Now you got to wait. And there's nothing wrong with waiting, but it's part of the game and the way it works. Because if you had just waited, you crushed it, guys. We already know what the end story was on Ethereum. Like, smashed. You smashed it. You smashed above all these previous levels. This is back when Ethereum was just $1,500. That was making a top, going all the way back down to a bottom. I didn't even give me a price right there. Whoops. Going down all the way to a bottom of $81. Okay. And then going all the way up another 56x. So you could have absolutely crushed it. But guess what, guys? During a bull market, 40, 50% dips are in the game. This happens all the freaking time. You can see this, another 40% dip. See this? Another 45, 50% dip. Heck, even all the way down to here, another 60% dip. Dips are in the game. Dips happen. Right now, you're just getting one of the first dips, and it's not really that big of a dip right now. What are we talking about? 10%, 14%? Like, in the grand scheme of things in crypto, again, that's nothing, right? 14, 13% here. Oh, like, whoa, I'm freaking out, man. Like, no, dude, this thing can easily go back down and retest the 618 level, which would be good, healthy market structure. I would love to see it come back down to a region of 2,500. Do I think it will? Probably not, man. Not with the ETFs going. But again, there's no saying a good, healthy structure would be coming back down and testing this 618 before going in and finally taking off. Could I see it doing that? I don't know. Is it a possibility, though? Heck yeah. It is a possibility, y'all. Right? So, Crypto Quiz, that was all the information that you possibly need right there. Don't be stupid, y'all. Don't be stupid. That's all I gotta say. Hex on Pulse is pumping. Yep. Lee Burn Method says, "Be happy. We all in crypto, fam." Yeah, be happy with what you got, man. At the end of the day, don't compare yourselves with others. Right? That's one of the ways to absolutely get yourself wrecked, because you always seem to compare yourself with someone who does better, but you never compare yourself with someone who's doing worse. It's one of those weird little psychological things that we end up doing to ourselves for whatever reason, that you just like. You have to compare against someone who's beating you because you want to be the best. You want to be better. You want to be a better version of whatever it is. And so that's what it is, right? At the end of the day, people are comparing. And comparison, yeah, dude, that's not necessarily a way to get it done. Because, again, you're comparing against the people who've done better, but you're not comparing against someone who is not even in your predicament or in your position or in a way worse off situation than you are. So you should be thankful for what you have. What you have is an amazing time right now. Dude, if you only got 10 million pulse and you don't make to millions of dollars of this cycle, congrats, man. You just got to wait another cycle. Okay? don't do something stupid like sell your entire positions, and don't do something stupid like trying to make up money faster so that way you can finish everything in the next 2 years. Like, you got time, guys. Time is on your side, especially if you're in the younger side, right? Again, I'm like, I'm not saying if you're over 80 years old that crypto is not for you, because dude, there's people who live for 80, 90, 100 years old, and you could get in right now and leave generational wealth for all your kids. If you just bought crypto back right now where we currently are, dude, I just showed you the chart of where we're at right now with Pulse Chain, right? This is where we're at, guys. We're here. Whoops, this is and scoop-a-doo. All right, we're here, y'all. This is where we are. We're right here. All of us right now, we're in this little zone. We've got the little U dip, and we're in this little zone right now, right before the pre-market, right before the Bitcoin halving, right before everything starts really kind of shining, right before everything starts really taking off. That's where we are right now, y'all. This is Pulse Chain right here. It looks damn near identical. I wish I could pull up a chart from Ethereum on this one. I wish I could. ETH, USDC. I don't think it goes back far enough, though. That's the problem. It just doesn't go back far enough for me to be able to see that. Yeah, I don't even know where to go. Where'd you go? Oh, it's like way somewhere. Where the heck is it? Anyways, I'm not gonna bore y'all with that right now. We'll figure that information out later. I think I just saw something a little tick up right there, but I'll figure that out later to pull up a chart against each other, seeing how it's done. But guys, we are in a bullish territory right now. Things are in a very bullish trend. We are pre-halving on Bitcoin, which neither here nor there. If Bitcoin's the true testament of what we're going to be doing this cycle, or if Bitcoin just follows the stock market, or whatever's happening, right? There's all these different narratives at the end of the day. But typically, you get 12 months to 18 months of just massive freaking wild gains. When you see a 60x within the span of 60 days, bull market, guys. Like, we've entered the bull market. I've said that already. As of the beginning of the year, we've been in the bull market. But I'm telling you, when you see a 60x in the span of like 60 days on the cryptos, on big cryptos, not just like a new meme coin that comes up that has $200 in liquidity, because that shit don't matter, right? I pulled up the whole liquidity stuff the other day. It really doesn't matter in that regard. Dosed Easy says, where do you see Pulse Chain in 6 years? A lot higher. A lot higher. What if I said 14,000x? That's my prediction. Pothead, what's up, my friend? South Texas Crypto. The bigger the bag, the easier to DCA out of your position on the ride up, and the easier to keep that long-term bag for future cycles too. Stack those bags. My mistake last cycle was too many small bags, for sure. For S's and G's, can you compare Pulse to, I assume ETH? Yeah, I mean, I don't have the ability to like pull up the exact chart on it. Maybe I'll find a way to get that done, but unfortunately, I don't want to bore everyone while I try to figure all that out right now. But I do see a position where people are very, very happy with how it actually ends up doing it. What the heck, man? What are we doing? Dude, it got like messed up my whole chart over here trying to add that little ETH information in. All right, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. Yeah, it's like messed up my whole chart over there. Atlantean, I get the butterfly nervous feeling of getting strapped into a roller coaster. Yeah, the roller coaster ride's real, y'all. And again, every single time it comes up to like making new all-time highs, making everything off, and then you get a pullback of even 15, 20, 30%. Everyone's gonna be like, that's it, that's the cycle, and people are gonna sell out their entire positions. There's a reason why not everyone makes it in crypto. There's a reason why you have people who have been in crypto for several cycles now at this point in time that haven't been able to change their life significantly for any reason, because they follow the sheep. They try to make moves ahead of the market, when you just got to let the market do what it does at the end of the day, and then have a plan in place of when you're going to take profits, when you're going to exit, and then when you're going to be buying. Do you have entry levels of when you go back in to buy, right? So after the bear market, after the bull market, if you took enough profits along the way, you should be able to buy the dips when it starts going. So you can say, cool, on 60% dips, I start going back in, 70% in, 80% in, 90% in, right? On 90% dips, you for whatever spare capital you got, you can be going in pretty heavy there. But you got to be able to make those plans in place. If you don't have that set up right now, not possible. You're going to get absolutely wrecked and left behind. People need more patience, 100%. Anthony Saavedra says, damn, you're making me excited, man. For sure, I'll be holding, pulling out just a little bit along the way. Dude, 100%. Like, take profit, guys. Take fucking profit. Like, there's a benefit to taking profit. There's a true benefit. But there's also a better way of taking profit. I'm not saying there's a perfect way. There is no perfect way. Stop trying to hit a home run, right? Stop trying to buy the exact bottom. Stop trying to sell the exact top. Very few people have the ability to do that. And very few people, even less, bought the exact bottom and sold the exact top, right? So, like, stop trying to be in that category. Buy near the bottom, sell near the top. Congratulations, right? But again, I'm not saying sell out of your positions. When things start pumping up again, and we start seeing things go break above previous all-time highs, and then you have it go back on retracements and it starts getting back into profit-taking strategy zones, have a plan, man, whether it's 5%, 10%, whatever the case may be, right? Some people wait for a 10x to take out 10%, basically recouping their initial capital. Some people will actually wait for a higher multiple to start taking profits. Everyone's got their own different strategy at the end of the day. Speaking of, let me actually just kind of pull this up here for like 2 seconds. Profit. Here we go. And let me actually see if this is the right one. No, that is not. Let me just go back into my sheets. My sheets. What's up, more Hex? How you doing, my friend? What up, ATX? Just checking in. Appreciate that. Crypto quiz 100. Send a small bag to the future with time pays me. Finn Bear says put some and Desi in there too. I avoid all perpetuals, just FYI. Nothing against anyone who takes it, but yeah. Oh, ETH Classic. Gotcha. ETC, you actually said ETH Classic. That was Ethereum Classic. The OG ETH. Yeah, exactly right. I actually pulled up ETH Classic the other day. Let me see if I still have any of that information here. Where were we on this page? Cool. So let me actually pull this up, because what I did was I made a whole spreadsheet. And again, this is only available for Patreon peeps. Again, eventually, maybe in the bull market, everyone gets it free. Who knows? But at this point in time, it's available for Patreon peeps. So what I did was I basically had the ability to come in here and set up a system that says, when do I take profit? How much do I take? Where do I take profit at? And all that good stuff, right? This allows you to put in all of your initial tokens, your average entry price, and, you know, future prices of when to take profit. So for here, as the example, I started out with just Pulse Chain and wrong screen. I'm zooming in. I started out with just Pulse Chain and HEX. So this is one of those that I created. And what you do is you say, hey, I put in, we'll say $5,000. So again, I use the $5,000 reference because we were talking about that with Ethereum just a moment ago. What if your average price was, because you've been able to DCA the entire time, 40415? Okay, cool. That's a phenomenal price. But heck, I'll even go a little bit higher. Let's just say your average price is SAC. I don't even care. Let's just say your average price is SAC. Cool. So your average price being SAC price. Well, now this does all the math for you on this line. And it basically says when you want to take profit. Do you want to do it on a 2x? Do you want to do it on a 5x? Do you want to have this set up? And with all that said, it'll do all the math for you. So it'll do 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 100. Right? Or you can do it on every 3x, for example, and then it just goes every double. So 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, 96, whatever you decide, you can choose the amount of profit that you want to take, 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever. And it does all the math for you, folks. So this basically says, hey, in this situation, if I wanted to start taking profit on a 3x, well, the price would need to be 0.0003. Conveniently enough, or coincidentally enough, that's basically the previous all-time high for Pulse Chain. So you would end up taking profit in that range. You would just do whatever you want, 5%, 10%, 20%. You decide whatever you decide to take, okay? But it tells you how many tokens you would sell. So in this situation, you would sell 2.5 million tokens because you have 50 million tokens with the $5,000 invested. With your average price here, you got 50 million tokens over here. This says, cool, you would sell 2.5 million, which are cash out, 750,000. Now, you still have 47.5 million tokens. So you didn't sell your entire portfolio. You took out a little bit to buy the dip with, assuming that the dip may end up arising and showing up again. And you do this multiple times. So by the time it ends up doing a 48x, you would have taken profit of a ballpark of around $60,000 on profit. And you would still be having, and again, this is very aggressive on the profit taken, like 15, 20, all the way up. This is very aggressive on profit taken, but neither here nor there. This is calculating everything and saying, hey, if you went this route, you would have $63,000 in profit taken, assuming you didn't buy back in any of it. You would still have 21.8 million tokens remaining. And guess what that would actually be for your portfolio? Well, let's do some quick math and figure that out. You would actually have $104,000 in the crypto still. You would have $60,000 taken in profit, and you can ride that to the moon. Now, what if that's just Pulse Chain? What if you do the same thing for PulseX? What if you do the same thing for your HEX token? What if you do the same thing for the incentive token? This does all the math for you, and you can type in all the freaking tokens you want, guys. This has plenty of room. I think I left room for up to 25 tokens, if not more. If you got more than 25 tokens, you got too many tokens. Let's just keep it real. So yeah, right. This is one of those things that whenever I say have a plan in place of when you're going to take profit, just set up something and then find a way to actually write it down on paper to say, I'm doing this at certain levels, because it's easy to get caught up in the greed, because you say when it reaches a 3x, you don't want to take profit. Why? Because in your heart of hearts, you're like, it's going to go up another double. It just pumped 3x in the span of a day. Why would I take profits now? You're going to do it. Happens to everyone. Happens to the best of us. Happens to all of them. But you take profit. You set a plan in place and you execute the plan, right? It's as simple as that, man. The 5 Ps allow you to do this. Proper preparation to prevent poor performance. That's what I'm talking about whenever I say that. It's finding a strategy that makes sense for you, that makes your own investment thesis make sense for you, that you don't sell your entire portfolio when you see 100x because you didn't have any plan in place before then. So if you got to see 100x, you're like, dude, I can cash out right now. Boom, you cash out. What if you never see that 100x price again? So no matter what, you can never buy back in the amount of tokens that you got, because the bear market or bull market comes and it goes and does 1,000x, and then it drops 90%. You never got to buy back in at the 100x price. Sure, you got to buy back in at when you took profit for the first time, but you could have been holding the tokens for 100x and actually got the chance to see a lot more. So I bring that up because, again, this does matter, folks. This does matter, right? And if you don't have a plan in place to say when you're going to do certain things, you're going to get left behind. You're going to make an irrational decision. Folks, we are here. Find a plan that works for you, that you feel comfortable with. Find something, because this is where we are right now. This is us right now. Like, I'll even scoot it up a little bit further, because we got about two more months before the Bitcoin halving happens, right? So roughly in April or one more month of the Bitcoin halving. So April of 2025, we're going to be sitting on April of 2025, we're going to be sitting on a Bitcoin halving. Cool. Congrats. That's awesome. April of 2025. What the F am I talking about? April 15th of 2024. We're going to have a Bitcoin halving. So I share this with everyone because, again, folks, you're here. You're here. Like, do you have something and do you have a strategy in place that says what you're going to do when you start seeing these capitals, when you start seeing the multiples? What happens when you end up seeing this and it actually ends up doing a beautiful in this situation? Just this price alone went up 10x. Just this move alone was 10x in the span of 140 days. It's not that long. It's very fast. But after that, it dipped down. And if you didn't take any profits along the way, because greed, whatever the case may be, you weren't able to take advantage of the 70% dip that arose. There's a time to take profit and there's a time to cash out profit. I think now is the time to take profit and use it to buy dips. There's a time that you're going to take profit and you're going to cash out profit. We're not quite there yet, in my opinion. But you got to decide that for yourself. Right now, if I did take profit, it's for the whole purpose. And I did take profit already on Pulse, on PulseX. I've already hit my profit taking levels. And guess what I'm doing with that capital right now? I'm buying the dip. I'm using it to buy more. Everyone can do it. But again, I'm not trading. There's a difference between taking profit and using it to buy the dip and trading. Big difference. So you got to find out what makes sense for yourself. And if you find that you feel like you're trading, maybe you wait until it does a 10x and then you take some profit, 5%, something, right? I always recommend taking something, man, at the end of the day. And it's going to put you in a good habit, because when you do see 100x and you don't have any plan in place and you've never taken profit on any of that before, you're going to be like, what do I do? What do I do? And you're going to sell your whole bag and get rinsed, and you're never going to see the prices again. Yeah, let me kind of go back in the chat real fast, and then we'll kind of, I didn't wrap up any news on today, but it's been an hour and a half already, so we're gonna have some fun. Atlantean saying some love to everybody. Oh, Westcott back again. What's up, my boy? How you doing? Yeah, we are live. Oh shit, I went all the way back up to the top. What? Okay, hold on. Wes probably been in here the whole time. My chat just went all the way up to the top. What's up at ATX? ETH Classic. How much time do we got? ETH Classic. ETC. Ethereum Classic versus Coinbase. Yeah, we'll just go off this. Flip it up here. All right, weekly. So everyone who's comparing HEX Classic is kind of doing the same thing, right? So I actually kind of find that kind of funny. So Crypto Quiz is asking, hey, compare a little bit about it. And everyone's considering like a HEX on Ethereum right now to be like HEX Classic right now, right? But guess what? Even here during this time, right? So you actually had the bull happen right in this range, which was 2021, right? We already know. And even then, even though it's Ethereum Classic, the sucker still went off and did a nice little 27x during that time period. And even if you bought it all the way down on the lows and that kind of stuff, well, you actually went up and did a 47x, 45x, and all these multiples. That is pretty damn good. This is what I kind of see happening with the HEX on Ethereum too. Like maybe it doesn't end up doing something too crazy in regards to the $2, $5, $7 range for this cycle. But what if you still get a nice little 10, 20, 30, 40x your bag, and all the other ones end up doing a 300, 400, 500x? Congrats, man. That's winning. That's freaking winning. But everyone's getting rinsed out right now. So yeah, this is kind of what I see happening. So basically, if you actually were to pull up kind of like the beginning of ETH Classic, when it all first went down, it actually went down, right? The whole 78, 80%. That's very common in crypto, y'all. You're going to notice these little dips that come along. These 70, 80% dips are pretty common. They happen quite often. But again, we're right here. You're right here. And I'll just draw a beautiful little arrow. We're right here. Okay. Right before everything starts taking off. And then even once it started taking off, well, cool. You got to see this rally all the way up right here. A nice little 17, 18x. Now, I think we go well above that, by the way. I think we are far, far, far above that. But if I'm just talking about where it is right here to Pulse Chain and what's going on with Pulse Chain right now, where does the 17x put us on Pulse Chain? 17x puts us in the ballpark of two zeros and a 2, right? I hope that you have your bag set, because that's beautiful. Like, to me, that's beautiful. And to some, that might not be enough. It just means you don't have enough tokens. But to me, that's beautiful. And everything else on top, cherry. You know what I mean? Because, guys, it's crypto, man. Crypto's crazy. It's volatile. There's going to be pullbacks. There's going to be dips. All this stuff happens. And even here, when it reached the top of $47, it eventually came back on 2021 and ended up making a new top over here at $184, right? So if you just held, this is where we are here. We'll call it 6 years, 1,500 days, somewhere in that little ballpark, little 67x. If it took you 6 years to get a 67x, are you mad? I sure as heck hope not, personally. Like, again, I can't even necessarily pull up the 2024, 6 years. Where are we at? So this is 2030, somewhere in this range. For a 60x, price of Pulse Chain would be a penny from what it is right now. Like, oh man, that's so bullish. That makes me happy. That makes me extremely happy, y'all. Personally, just all of it. So yeah, I hope all that kind of ends up happening. What's up, Crispy? How you doing, my friend? Guys, go check out hexfire.io, fire website. He did a little update on it too. I gotta go play around with it some more, so I feel more comfortable sharing about it with everyone. But yeah, he actually did a beautiful upgrade to it. Hexfire.io, go check it out. Everyone's saying hello to Crispy for sure. Hey now, what's up? Pay attention. You're giving out sauce for free. Always 5Ps, ATX on fire. Appreciate that. I think I asked you this before, but how do you feel? How comfortable? Man, let me try reading. Hello. I think I asked you this before. Do you feel comfortable with stables? What would we do if they started messing with stables around the top? Yeah, I mean, stables are a risky thing in and of itself because they do have admin keys and they can shut them off at a moment's notice. If like the feds or any of the 3-letter agencies want to come at you, the stable coins have access to say, if they can associate your wallet with their stable coin, they can shut off funds right away to it because they have admin keys. It is risk. It is an extreme risk. So the purpose of stables is to possibly use it to buy dips with, but eventually it's just a cash out in. I would primarily be holding the crypto, y'all. For myself personally, it's just kind of one of those things. So if you cash out of your whole portfolio, even 30%, I would still be 70% of my portfolio in crypto, even at the tippity top of the bull, right? And because I think if you cashed out that kind of capital, either in stables or into fiat, and you can pay yourself for the next 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it is, until the next cycle top, okay, cool. You hold the crypto and you watch it go down 90%, but you ain't worried about it because you took out some cash, you had some fun, you put some money in the bank, all those things. So 70% is still in the actual capital. And then ideally, if everything worked out ideally and the bull market came and the bear market came and you have the stable coin still sitting on the side, well, give me 1 second. Hold up. Do I want to? So yeah, exactly. So what I was saying on this one is even if the bull market came and the bear market showed up again and you had some stables sitting on the side, you can deploy that capital back into more crypto to get more while the bear market's here. So there is a benefit to the stable for sure. It does hold the value of $1, but we have seen it depeg before. And does it always stay pegged to $1? No. And could there be a situation where they just print 1 million, billion, trillion extra tokens? I mean, heck, USDT just printed out 1 billion USDT the other day, right? How long can they actually do that for? Do they actually have the money in the back to bank to actually hold it all, right? Does someone do a stable coin run? All those things. 100x is a 10x from your 10x. So if you sell at a 10x, like ATX says, then your mindset is on point to take out along the ride up. For sure. For sure. Anthony, when you say sell PLS or PLSX to buy the dip, do you mean you just swap in between the tokens, or do you swap to USD or WETH first and then buy more dips? Yeah, I swap to stables and then buy the dip with it. But again, very small percentage of my portfolio is stable. Massive percentage of my portfolio is crypto. And by crypto, I mean true DeFi, HEX, Pulse Chain, PulseX, incentive token, the RH tokens. That's my portfolio. Is there a portion that's stables? Yep. Do I use it to buy the dip with? Yep. Am I okay if it gets lost? Yep. Like all those things go into play, and you have to be okay with all of that. Nagabo said RH ecosystem would dump today. Hope people aren't selling. Yeah, I don't know, right? Whatever he says. ETC is a good example because of the fork, but also look at the very bottom of ETC to current price, and you would still be up. Plus, ETC hasn't ran for this cycle either. Stay patient. HEX will be fine. 100%. Dosed Easy, what up? Cool, thanks. Of course, man. Do you take profits on a moonbag if you don't plan on touching it for 5 to 10 years? No, moonbags are moonbags. I mean, eventually there's a point in time when you do take profit, man. Like, dude, they're like, so the way it works is if you're gonna like say you have a DGM bag and the DGM bag goes and does a 2x, well, you take out 50% pretty fast, recoup whatever your capital is initially. Okay, as soon as that capital is taken out, cool. What happens on the next one is it does another 2x, take out another 50%, does another 2x, take out another 50%. Now you're left somewhere around 12.5% of the initial portfolio that you had. You can let that be a moonbag at that point in time. and let it ride. And if that sucker goes off to do a 10x, 100x, 1000x, whatever that number may be, you can scoop off some more profit along the way. Like there's nothing stopping you from scooping off a little bit of profit along the way. So if it goes and does another 10x, you're like, I'll take out another 10%. Cool. You're left with 10% of the portfolio now at this point in time, right? You go and you just keep on doing that over time. And eventually the moon bag will probably not really have too much in the moon bag scenario, but you've taken out plenty of profit in that scenario. Now, a moon bag does not pertain to Pulse Chain, PLSX, HEX, and the core tokens, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Like they just don't do that. There's no moon bag in those tokens, right? The tokens are the moon bag, because if you just hold them for years into the future, you've done well. Probably outperformed all these other shit tokens that come around. But if you are into a meme token and you can take profit on a 2x, 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 and you just scoop it, eventually you leave yourself a small portfolio and you say, I'm going to let that ride, dude. I'm happy with the money that I've made from it. I've 10x my portfolio, whatever the case may be, and I'm going to let it ride at this point in time. Congrats. You go into a moon bag, you throw it into a different wallet, call it moon wallet, whatever you want to call it, and you let that sucker ride. If you go back and you check and it's done a 50x, scoop off some more profit. Of course, that's smart, right? That's smart. Like, do not be upset in that situation. And then you get mad. You're like, oh, if I just held this, it would have been 50x. Dude, if you have that decision already, then your mindset's just in a whack position already. Because meme tokens do not have a guarantee into the future. Most of the time, they'll do a quick 2 to 10x within the first week of its launch. And if you don't take profit during that time, it does nothing but dump for the rest of the time you hold it. So if you're holding this whole portfolio and you never took profit, you screwed yourself, man. So yes, to answer the question, but I don't have a moon bag. I mean, I don't do these DJing tokens for a moon bag play. Lucky Taylor says, happy Friday. Yeah, dude, happy Friday, man. Let me play it again real quick.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday again, 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 it's Saturday, Sunday. You don't got so boyfriend, you put me at the hotel room. You keep with your girlfriend,
and meet me at the hotel room.
You don't got so boyfriend, you put me at the hotel room. You keep with your girlfriends and meet me at the hotel room.
Then it's Saturday, Sunday. It's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday. Like, guys, we're getting into the bull market. Everything is turning nice and juicy in this scenario. I am stoked about what we have planned for not only the future of our ecosystem, but also just everything for the near-term future, long-term future. My mindset's on the long term, regardless of whatever happens in the short term. Don't let these day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute decisions affect your investment thesis. Have longer vision past this month, past this day, past this week, possibly even past the next few months, because, dude, you could go sideways for several months and then all of a sudden, boom, 50x all of a sudden. Like, it is fast and it comes out of nowhere and it shocks everyone. And if you're in the mindset of doing this whole trading between these tokens, you get rinsed and you get left behind. That's why, dude, not everyone will make it. There's a reason why they say that. HEX saves people from yourself. HEX saves you from you. You don't have that in Pulse Chain. You don't have that in PulseX. You don't have that in the incentive token. If you're holding Liquid HEX, you don't have that. So if you see massive moves all of a sudden, or if you're over here trying to make these trades and plays and all these different things, you're gonna get washed, man. It's like you're gonna get rinsed, and it's so fast. I can't even describe. Like, even name any token that's like been around longer than a freaking cycle, right? Very few actually come back around and make it on the full cycle. But and then, let me actually pull up some here. Let me actually keep this little ETC chart, because why not? I actually like it here. And do I have anything drawn on this chart? Nah, nothing really crazy. All right. So yeah, I mean, just name any token that's done well in previous cycles, and if you just stick around long enough, they tend to do really well for a whole lot of people. Just don't get rinsed out too early. My 55s are my moon bags. That's what I should have said. I'm stealing it. You never walk alone. I was the reason why you said that. No, I'm just kidding. That's 100% the reason, though. 100% the truth. What is this? Illy Check says mid 2025, 2026. Not financial advice. If target comes after, better. Could be sooner. Just giving you a heads up. I don't know. Bitcoin doing what it's doing before a previous breakout. When it does break above its previous all-time high, you get about 12 months before it actually hits its bull market top. So again, it's already done things that's never done before, so I can't say like this has always been the case, right? This time could be different, but just keep that in mind. At the end of the day, make sure you have some plan in place, dude, because if you in the next 12 months only puts us into February or March of 2025, definitely not mid-cycle in that situation. And then what it did, like a 30-40% drop within a few months can affect you mentally. And then shit, what if you're right and it does go on until the end of 2025, early 2026? I got two different metrics that I look at. One of them is the cycle top metric that says when it hits the cycle top, you have about 12 months. Sorry, when it breaks above its previous cycle top, you have about 12 months for a bull market. The other trajectory that I look at is every single bull market so far since the inception of Bitcoin has been longer than the previous one. Okay. So if we take that same average and just average it out, it would be an additional 13% added on to where it normally goes, which is 18 months. But we're going to kick it out further and say it would actually be early 2026 for that particular one. Which one's right? We'll find out, man, because there's no way of knowing. There's no way of me telling. I don't know the future. I'm just giving you a heads up, right? Just a heads up. Yeah, moonbag pertains to meme coins. RH coins, there is no moonbags. Got it. I wouldn't call it a moonbag, personally. Like, what's a moonbag? You holding a separate wallet with like 10 million pulse. If it goes off and does something, you can sell all your other pulse. Like, I don't see that being a good reason. The purpose of a moonbag is so you can literally take profit along the way and not sell your entire portfolio. So if something does go crazy, you ride it to the moon. You typically only get that with meme coins. For RH tokens, I don't call them meme coins, right? I personally wouldn't do it or wouldn't call it that way. So I wouldn't call it a moonbag, but that's just my 2 cents. Everyone's got their own definition at the end of the day, right? Before, gotcha. Yeah, it could be. I mean, guys, like all of it could be early 2025, could be just 2024. Man, if you see your portfolio go up and do 100x, and then it's just the end of 2024, and that's it for the cycle, I hope you did something to take profits along the way. Like I'm just saying, there's no telling of when the actual top is in. There's no method that says this is that every single time, and this has been 100% the case. This not there. You can only just anticipate by past performances, but heck, RH is tweeting all the time now, basically saying past performances is not indicative of future performance, right? Or he says past performance is no guarantee of future. I like the way I said it, but anyways, I like the way Richard Hart says it too. But past performance is not a guarantee. It doesn't say like because this happened this way this time, it's going to do the exact same thing. Like Bitcoin has been diminishing returns every single time, and if it was to be the case this cycle, it shouldn't have really topped out, or it should be a top right now. This should be the true cycle top of Bitcoin. Is it gonna be? I don't think so. I think it goes into the 6 figures, right? Which makes it a better return than if you had just held it from 2020. Dude, look at this, guys. I'll share this one more time, then we'll wrap it up. But this is what we're talking about here. Bitcoin here, previous, I'm just gonna go from halving, not doing anything crazy, but from halving to this top right here was roughly around a 14, 15x. Okay. But over here during that same time, this was actually a 50x. We'll say 48x. Okay. So 48x here. It's like a 300x here, 48x here, 15x here. Whoops. On average, if it's going, why do you keep clicking that? If it's going down, if it's going to keep going down, well, the law of diminishing returns basically shows that it should only end up doing roughly around a 3 to 4x from halving, and that's depending upon where the price is, and usually it's down here, but that's around here, puts it around $160,000. Everyone else is already predicting 240, 250, 500,000, which is going to be something that the law of diminishing returns could in fact not be the case. Again, if I measure from, it's tough because again, cycle bottom, I'll just go cycle bottom. Let's just hit the all-time low to here. All-time low to here was a 19x, 20x, okay? All-time low from previous cycle to here was a 128x, okay? All-time low from this section, whenever it actually ended up doing that, roughly around a 500x, okay? So basically what we're saying is this reaching 200,000, even over here, 280,000 puts it at a 17x right here. That's pretty freaking crazy. Pretty freaking crazy. Never really done that before. So what's it going to be? Does it just surprise everybody? Probably. Right? Oh, shoot. That's funny. My wife just sent me a text message. It was too funny. I think BTC wants 80 to 85K before taking its first major correction down this current cycle, dude. I mean, the major correction should happen. It already should have happened if you want to be real. But the ETFs or whatever news or whatever narrative or just the mainstream media covering it more, or breaking its previous all-time high, or all those things, like it should have already done the correction at this point. Like when Bitcoin was hitting this range right here, this is the ETF approval date, right around the mid-January timeframe, but it really should have came back down and tested out some of these levels. Because if you actually were to pull up the fib retracement on this one from its oh, come on, hide that. Let me just move it over a smidge. If you were to pull up the fib retracement from this all-time high to previous local bottom, it should have came back down. It definitely did test the 618 level, but it should have come back down. It has come back down. Every single time it's tested out the 618 level, it's never broken above the 786 pre-halving. Never done it before. This time, it broke out not only above the 786, but above its previous all-time high. Like, that's never been done before. So it should have already had the correction here back in these days. It should have came back down and tested out the 35K one more time, right? These ranges of 30K, 35K, 37K. It just smashed past all of that. It's like, nope, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. So what happens? We'll find out. This time it's done things it's never done before. There's only one way of knowing, and that's just waiting. Thanks for staying and streaming for so long. We appreciate it. Happy Friday again. Happy Friday to every single one of y'all as well. Everyone who's watching over on Twitter, do me a favor. Go join over on YouTube for a brief second, at least at the end of the stream. Leave a like, comment down below. Tell me what your favorite part of the stream was. Tell me what more information that you're looking for so that way I can make this better for every single person who comes in. I will be doing an update on my daily DCA Pulse Challenge, DCA Challenge for a video on that later. Hopefully that can happen pretty soon. The market's just like crypto or purely speculation, and the ability to recognize patterns and act on them with consensus from our own position or from others, we can gain profits. For sure. It's always that, Crypto Magnus. Cronus Magnus. I don't know why I got that mixed up. But y'all get the idea. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I hope every single one of y'all are all good and have a wonderful Friday. Other than that, shout out to all the Patreon peeps. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecure